Hi everyone! Today we are going to make pineapple cakes. These pastries consist of a buttery shortbread crust wrapped around a thick, sweet pineapple filling. The crust is crumbly and nearly melts in your mouth. Now let's get started. First, we'll make the pineapple filling. To cut the pineapple, slice off the crown and the bottom. Then trim off the thick fibrous skin. Now we'll remove the rows of brown circular eyes. Cut V-shaped trenches around the eyes and rotate around the pineapple. You'll find that the cuts should form a spiral. Finally, cut the pineapple vertically into 4 slices. Then slice them into smaller pieces. Now you can blend the pineapple in a food processor until it's very fine and there are no visible pieces. Put the blended pineapple into a cloth bag to partially remove the juice. Then transfer it to a non-stick pan. Cook it over high heat initially so that the pineapple juice will reduce quickly. Then reduce it to medium heat and add 30 to 50 grams of sugar. Make sure to stir constantly to avoid burning. When the pineapple paste is about to dry, switch to low heat and add about 85 grams of honey, continuing to stir. You'll know the filling is ready when it becomes very sticky, like jam. Then let it sit in the refrigerator for about an hour until it becomes slightly firm. That's it for the filling. To make the dough, you will need these ingredients. In a big bowl, use a silicone spatula to smooth the room temperature unsalted butter. Then add the icing sugar and mix until they're combined. Add 20 grams of beaten egg, mixing them well. Next, add the sifted cake flour and milk powder, then mix. Take the dough and flatten it into a thick rectangle, and wrap it in plastic wrap. Let it chill in a refrigerator for about 30 minutes or until it's firmed up and doesn't stick to the touch. Weigh 18 pieces of the pineapple fillings at about 12 grams per piece. Then firmly form them into balls. Now cut the chilled dough evenly into 18 pieces, about 18 grams per piece. Shape these into balls as well. To shape the pastries, I use 5 by 3.7 by 1.7 centimeter rectangular molds. You can also make it without a mold if you prefer. Use your palm or a rolling pin to press it flat, aiming for a thin circle. Here's a tip. Roll the dough on a piece of plastic wrap. This makes the wrapper easy to peel off instead of sticking to the surface. Now place the ball of filling on the center of the wrapper and gather the dough up around the filling in even pleats. Pinch to close up the top and gently smooth out the pleats. Round it into an oval shape. If your dough is sticky, simply put it in the refrigerator to cool and harden. Hold a rectangular mold in your palm and place the cake inside. Then gently press it down with your other palm. Use the handle to firmly press down on it for a few seconds. Ideally, the cake should fill about 90% of the mold, which makes it easier to take out later. If needed, you can apply some oil inside the mold to prevent sticking. Next, repeat the same steps with the other cakes. If you don't use a mold, just use your palms to press it into a round shape. Afterwards, line a baking sheet with a silicone baking mat or parchment paper. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and let them bake for 10 to 12 minutes or until they turn golden brown. Remove them from the oven, then flip them over and let them bake for another 5 to 8 minutes or until they turn golden brown once again. Be careful, the molds are hot. Transfer them onto a wire rack and let them cool. Afterwards, you can store them in an airtight container. And you're done! Enjoy your buttery, sweet, pineapple-filled cakes. Please like the video if you enjoyed the recipe, and subscribe for more traditional Asian recipes. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comment section.